on the
You
TV
mean
log.
like one of the big time
Yeah.
groups?
Yeah.
No, it has not. The family that had acquired the mill, it has been handed down generation to generation. I had, like you said, I had a descendant there directly from the Bear Hershey family. The family married into the family. She happened to be like the great-great-granddaughter of Emmanuel Hershey, who had came from Pennsylvania and founded the mill. It was a huge Indian area. It was Fort Greenville, actually. Quite a bit of white and native action there as far as war goes. But it has was just recently opened. We were the first team to go in. It was in the newspapers and everything. But we were the first team to actually go in and do the investigation. I'm not sure that it has caught on yet with the more celebrity teams. I don't want to throw any names out there, but it is a must-go-to on your bucket list. It is like Waverly Hills. It is like Penholmes.
Did you say that it had a native battleground there?
Yeah, it was at one time. It was a very large battleground area. Fort Greenville
that's
was
probably
there.
why I've heard of it then, because I've done, I study native history, native wars, and that's probably where I've heard of Bear's Mill from.
Well, we had gone outside, and the mill was supplied by, as far as energy goes, a creek. And we actually picked up on our digital voice recorders, we actually picked up drumming, and we could hear things rustling in the leaves. We could actually hear language being spoken, but it was not our tongue. We picked all that up on our digital voice recorders. It's absolutely a must-go-to on your bucket list. It is. It's unbelievable.
That's great. Did you identify the voices or the language spoken?
I would say that it was probably Native American. It was not English. Those were the only two languages that would have been spoken there at that time when the mill came in. We actually found a old musket. The mill is actually still in operation. It still grinds flour and it still grinds corn, but it's more of a gifty thing versus a supplier. But it's still a fully operational mill. I believe there's 4 levels in it. You can go on my Facebook page, and there are probably 35, 40 pictures of the mill there. As I said, Hindsight Paranormal, Teresa and Jay Lynch were there with us, and Brian Young and his team was also there with us, and then the team I was with at the time. But yeah, you can hear it. You can hear it. I wish there was some way. I'm not PC savvy, or I would send you the EVPs. It was definitely not English, so therefore I would have to say 99.9% it was Native American.
Yeah, the other language around there would be, if my memory serves me well, I haven't go through these up, would be because it's Ohio, Pennsylvania. No, I'm just wondering whether you had Dutch or German, whether it could be Dutch or German. That's all. But it just fascinates me, the languages, because of certain things that happened to me when I was doing trance work, and I got tested by my healing guide, John Paul. He's actually Jewish, and he was born in the 2nd century, and he come from the banks of the Red Sea, and but like all people at the time, it was under Roman rule, and he wanted to see the world. And his father was we'd call it an apothecary, but he was a healer, a herbal. But he actually he joined the Roman army. His father weren't happy, but he joined the Roman army, and they ended up coming to England, because what the Romans did, they took people who would join the army from the east and put them in the west, and vice versa. They never let them patrol all of their own people, and that way they were never against each other. But and he was killed up on Adrian's Wall, and that's where I met him. He'd been waiting for me from life. He'd always been there, but I'd never actually met him. And it must have been, 15, 16, about 18, about 18 years ago. Might be a little bit less, but we was up there, and I was talking to him, and I met him, said hello, how you doing, and we were chatting away, and I didn't realise how that he was dressed in Roman. He had his toga, he had his trews on, little trews, and he had all his stuff. I didn't even notice, because we were standing by the temple of the sun goddess, and and that's where we were standing, and I was just meditating and enjoying it. I didn't realise until he turned around and disappeared. He said goodbye. I said goodbye. Walked back to the car that the wife was waiting in, and I just had a walk, because we'd driven a long way, and I went back, and it didn't even click, and then he appeared in a circle, and, I met you, and then it clicked. I said to the wife, I've just been up there talking. She said, who was you talking to? I went, ghost. I said, and anyway, it turns out I got him. He come back, and he's my healing guide. He works through me in trance.
That's what I was going to ask you. This is one of your guides.
Yeah, I have one main. Everybody has one main life guide. That's a gentleman or lady that actually tries their best to influence you in a good way. And then you have, because if you have different types, as like I explain to people, then you have helpers around that person. Because you don't call a plumber in to do an electrician's job, do you? So, and it's no different when we're working. We have one main life guide that's there from beginning to end, that watches over us and tries to influence, like my main guide, that tries to influence us to the highest, the best of our ability. They can't interfere, but they can give us options and present options to us. And then you have the people that you work with. There's I have a friend who has two healing guides. One works with heads and headaches and migraines, and his other guide that comes in close, and he comes out of trance, and he goes back into trance. He has a glass of water, goes back into trance, and the other gentleman that come through will be working on the bones. One works on the muscles and the brain, and the other works on the bones. So
I have my life guide is it just kind of struck me when you had mentioned that your healing guide was Roman. My life guide is German. His name is Hans, and he was a brewmeister, and he's from the 1400s. I don't speak a word of German, but I can sit and I know exactly what he's telling me.
You will do.
My healing guide is Lakwana, and she is a little 14-year-old Shawnee Indian girl. I do not speak Shawnee, but I can understand everything that she's saying and doing.
Yeah, you will do, because it comes through the mind. Mm-hmm. Oh, correct. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, because it comes through the mind, your mind will understand it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I have 1,000 Native Americans that watches over me in my house, and a bear and a wolf, kindly given to me by Blaine Rowan. And I go out every night and share tobacco. I take food. I take water. I like to keep my protection close in a hand and in my home. But it is absolutely totally awesome how we don't speak these languages, but yet we know what they're telling us.
Yeah. Sherry in the chat room says, how do I find out who my life guide is? Two ways. One is protection, meditation, and the other is when you're if you're going to see mediums or evenings of clairvoyance, and you get it more than once from 2 or 3 different mediums, that they know who your guide is, or they give your guide out. And then that is confirmation. But no matter what you get, you must always get confirmation. You know, it's test them, test the spirit, test the people that are doing the spirit. Because a lot of people that do this, they're not nasty, they're not egotistical, but sometimes they're misguided or too eager to snatch at things. So that's what I'm just saying that to Sherry. And thank you, Johnny. I'm so glad you could join us tonight.
We just lost Waid. Rick.
Have we?
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to get him back on.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I just heard the click when it did it.
All right. But Mitzi, are you enjoying the program, Mitzi?
Oh, absolutely. I am learning so much from you. I'm astounded. I'm sitting here on the chat room also, and most of these people are my friends.
Yeah, I dance. Johnny Eagle is one of the most talented people you'll ever meet.
Hi, Johnny. How are you?
Yeah, he's English, but he supports the native way. He walks the red road, but he can play a flute and a didgeridoo player par excellence. He come up to visit and stayed over with us, and he played the didgeridoo. Oh, my wife's going, I thought I'd have to peel her off him, you know.
Wait a minute, didgeridoos, man, Australian.
Yeah, I know, but Johnny can play the flute, he plays the drum, and she got my didgeridoo out, said, yeah, he can play flute, and he played the drum, played the didge. Yeah, you can blush, Johnny, you know you can. He's very, very sensitive and understated in the things that he does. But he can build things with his hands. He can even heal if he puts his mind to it.
Do I hear a man crush?
Yeah. I've got to have some really clever people around me. You know?
Mark, I asked if I heard a man crush.
Who, you?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it sounds like he's got a man crush on him.
Well,
I respect my brother.
That's not
Hawk,
bad.
Hawk, I respect my brother. I didn't tell you that he was a dead shot, did I?
Yeah, I am too. I've never missed a target I've aimed at.
I lost you guys.
Yeah, I tried to call you back in several times and it wouldn't go. But no, Mark, I've never missed anybody I've shot at, man, when I was doing bail enforcement.
Yeah. I know. I heard you was good with a catapult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I want to ask you a question.
Sorry, you can ask me a question. Did you say?
Yes,
yeah, please do.
I read paranormal pictures too, and this is kind of interesting because I read this paranormal picture, and Tammy got me started on this. A friend of mine, and I was having these. I would just read, I just see, sitting there relaxing, and just give what I give, and the information is just unbelievable accurate. And then people were coming on and saying, so how many times have you been here? Well, I have never been there before. And he said, what? How did you know so much stuff? Because it is given to us. It is given to us. But see, what's interesting is I read another place, and I'm telling you, I got all the information that's in the news. Everything that was brought up, all the paranormal groups information, all that stuff. But then somebody did research and debunked it all. Why did I get all that information? Was I just reading all the hype about it in my mind? Or because it ended up being debunked and there was no such thing, the guy never lived there, but I got exactly what everybody else had been written about it ever since it was even brought up about being paranormal. Why would I
That's
read that
interesting.
information? You understand?